Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the straight red card. Get off our lawn.
Welcome to the straight lead card? The straight red
How much have you had
card.
to drink so far, Derek? Come on. What's that?
I watched the game at your house with you, and then I rushed home. And so I only had 2 beers at your place. I've done 3 shots just to prep for this show. 3 shots. So, I mean, pretty much straight up that. So it's disgusting. But, I'm not used to doing this show, except for that's like last week I had to start the show sober too. But, I will be feeling better. I'm on other things. So, I feel good in that respect. By the way, really difficult finding a blow up. Oh, the ants are attacking me. So I get back after
one by one,
a 2-day conference. I get home, and near my porch area, these tiny little fucking sugar ants have figured out how to get into my house. They're climbing.
So the trail of Hershey Kisses I placed from the grass line all the way to your house worked?
You bastard. That's what's going on here. But it turns out that finding what you do not do when you're looking for a cheap blow-up doll is you do not search for sex doll, because those don't exist anymore. The sex doll world is a totally different world, Brett. It's all about lifelike silicone, these other things they make them out of. They're all lifelike. So I'm going to have to go to a gag store, because I think that's the only way I'm going to find actual blow-up doll, because I don't think they sell them for sex anymore. So
not the cheap ones, I imagine. All gags, bridal party or whatever.
Yeah. So I think those are pretty much just jokes now, whereas maybe 20 years ago, you're like, that guy owns a fucking blow-up doll.
Al had it first, I guess. The best ways to find those that he used.
Used blow-up dolls? I think I'll get a brand new.
Make sure she gets tested first.
I think she'll be fine.
Mike H, I'm not sure why you can't DM us on Twitter. Our DMs are open. Why don't you add us on Twitter, and then I will follow you and make sure that might be the issue. I don't know. It
has nothing to do with the fact, Mike, that your last name is hard as hell. I don't think that has anything to do with it. So you should be able to get through. The turd in the background says, "Welcome to the straight red card. The likelihood of blow-up doll fucking has dwindled." It certainly has.
Well, I mean, all that means is that Derek won't have to worry about fucking it for you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what
you
I'm going to do.
might still throw in the investment. I mean, nowadays you have to lay down a minor investment, a small mortgage for a blow-up doll.
Maybe if we lose, she gets to fuck me. I don't know. So, like behind me. All right. And Ernie Stewart is talking to me about replacing Craig. Yeah, I doubt it. By the way, those fucking after game videos, and they're great by Jake, because US Soccer wouldn't put them up, but the post game one after Japan, who is fucking floating around in all of the interviews, just like 5 feet away, looking as annoying as fucking ever behind Adams at one point and behind Zimmerman at one point. Just the actual real turd in the background. So go to Jake's place. What is it called? We call it soccer, right?
It's called soccer.
It's called soccer. If you go there, he has all the interviews. You get to see what the real turd in the background, and he is indeed a turd in the background, because he doesn't need to be there. What is he holding these guys' hands during the interview? And he's in the back where Zimmerman's talking. He's looking at Zimmerman. He's in the background. He's shaking his head. Yes, good answer. Just shut the fuck up. Don't shake your head. Just get out of the fucking screen. And get out. Just get out. Let these guys answer the fucking. You don't need to monitor them. They're not
a Ricky Bobby thing. He comes in to say, "I don't know what I do with my hands. What do I usually do with these?"
It's not like you're his bodyguard. You're not going to stop them from beating his ass, because they're not have any intention to beat his ass. They just want to ask him questions. So, Michael, get the fuck out of the screen, dude. All right. Where was I? That's great news. And my wife blew the neighbor again. That's too bad. I mean, as long as you're into that, that's all right. I don't want to hear anyone blame anyone other than Greg fucking Burhalter and his dipshit system. I have to agree with you.
Star Wars Satan, we actually don't say the word system on this channel anymore.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, that's been like, I mean, it's like Pee Wee Herman's phrase, whatever, word of the day or whatever. Like, you know.
System. Might as well just change that to madness or predictable madness, because that's what it is. Everybody knows exactly what we're going to do. Yo, there's Jake. So, Jake, we just mentioned you. I'm sure you just heard that. Go to Jake's
We'll be watching one of your videos here in a few minutes about the pre-presser, I think it was, right?
Yeah, yep. And then, you know, I'm sure Jake noticed Michael Cameraman floating around in the background like the turd he is. I'm sure he saw that and, like me, thought, what is he doing there? What the fuck is he doing there? Why is he there? We lost. Let him talk about it. Get out there. Get out of their assholes. Let them be. God, that would be so annoying as a player to have this turd sickle right next to me wherever I go when I have to do an interview with the press. And it like Burhalter today, who wouldn't take any questions from anybody on Zoom. They had to be in front of him, right in front of his face to do the interview. I did notice him in Matt Turner's interview. Yes, he was in that one too, I believe. Yes, I remember that. The whole point is that, like Cameraman, Burhalter needs to be monitored. So Michael Cameraman is the press dude for U.S. soccer. And it's spelled with
this guy right here. He's this guy right here.
Plays with Brent doesn't read my chats. And it's spelled with a K. Michael Cameraman's been around a long time at U.S. Soccer, and he's just annoying now as he was before. I'm sure he's a sweet guy. I'm sure his family loves him. I'm sure he has a couple friends. But he's quite annoying. But just like Cameraman, Burhalter wouldn't take any interview questions from anybody on Zoom. It was only you had to be in the fucking, interview session personally and in person. Why? Because that's more intimidating. It's hard to ask a hard question when you have to do it eyeball to eyeball with the dude.
No, he didn't take any questions from the media attending the press conference. Oh, virtually. Okay, yeah, you're right. I'm wrong.
Fucking Cameraman, the dude is such a giant prick. He unloaded on us during a call with him. So Al, let us know more, man.
Al, in fairness, he probably knows that you listen to us, and he's not. I guess he's not on good talking terms with us.
Well, he does know what his nickname is. That has gotten to him. In fact, he is.
Sure, that rubs him the wrong way.
Yeah, he is said to be in a communication that, hey, this is Michael the Turd Cameraman. He referred to himself as Michael the Turd Cameraman.
I'm hoping that he had a sense of humor about it. Come on. I mean, that's just funny.
And Pete's never called him Michael the Turd Cameraman. So why is he blaming Pete for the nickname that we gave him?
Guilty by association, Derek. You know.
I guess. I mean, we were on Pete's show. I might have said it then. But that's not Pete's fucking fault. Pete has nothing to do with that. All right, Michael. So Burhalter's has all just weak sauce. I mean, he did his interview after the game today.
Since we kind of since you bring this up, let's just go and talk about this real quick.
Okay,
let's pull it. I'll pull up the tweet.
I'm sure there are going to be people that say we're all just negative Nancy's, but boy, can you not be? There's no way to be positive.
A lot of the mainstream media is becoming that way now too.
Negative.
We just took it. We took it on the chin for a year because we're all Nostradamuses who saw this a year ago.
Yes,
or more.
Quit talking about your fucking system. What manager out there in their right mind talks about their system? No good manager does that. You don't see Pep Guardiola walking around saying system. No, he doesn't say that shit. He puts the game plan together. Everybody knows he kind of has a system, but he can maneuver the parts, and he's got the best players in the world. So, yeah, it's going to work for him. Which one do you want to do first, Kyle or Al?
Go with Al first, because
Okay.
this finishes what he was talking about.
We asked for media passes, and in the conversation, we asked how they deal with criticism. And cameraman was offended. We felt people might be critical of USSF. He was offended. Well, then he is a little turd, isn't he? I mean, I've always heard for years he was a fucking little piece of turd, but you know, I assumed his family loved him, so I wanted to give him some credit. So Adam Wiggins says, didn't y'all start calling Jimmy Conrad trash can, or did he come up with that one?
That was his crew. That was his crew.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, indeed.
He put his in order to do a live stream, he put his camera up on a trash can.
Yes.
And he did it in front of the Man U stadium, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And,
yes, he did.
So yeah, he was called Trash Can. What was the other nickname?
Well, because the camera kept getting interrupted by people throwing trash in the trash bin. So, you know, you'd see Jimmy, you know, talking, and then a big trash would be tossed into the trash bin right where the camera was. So what was he thinking? I don't know. Al, you left out the part where you said I had a tiny penis. Hey,
come on, Al.
We shouldn't make fun of that. There's a certain percentage of the population that has tiny penises. So if you have one, that's okay with us as long as you have a good sense of humor.
Generally, they're called large clits.
No, they're not. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, you know that. All right.
Clits don't have holes. All right. They're not penises. All right. For the second straight U.S. men's national team match, hold on. Burhalter did not take any questions from media attending the press conference. Virtually, only those in attendance got to ask Greg questions. And that was because Greg was afraid of being face-fucked verbally by a Zoom caller or Zoomer. Because, I mean, they take calls for a bigger variety when they take the Zoom stuff. You'd think by now they would have figured out some safe bets they could call up on Zoom that are on Zoom, but apparently not. They were that intimidated after this second horrible game in a row. I mean, it wasn't all horrible. We'll get into that, but it wasn't great. It was funny actually seeing everybody else's reaction on Twitter and just everybody talking about the game and sitting down and watching it and then going like, I mean, it wasn't good, but I mean, my expectations were so low, it wasn't surprising.
That's probably what it was. Yeah. And again, we'll get into that. All right. So outside of Kyle, talk about that because that seems a little ridiculous that he's got to have his little safe space. Him and cameraman.
Grabbing the cameraman.
Hey, Greg, what do you think of the result? It's not what we wanted, but it's a learning experience. Everybody's just still learning the system. Duh.
Great. Another system speak. Can't stand it. Sick of it. It's not about you, Greg. It's about the U.S. men's national team and the players. It's not about you. It's not about your system. You're supposed to manage these guys the best you can and put them in the best space to succeed. And if your system isn't that, then you need to resign or you need to change your system. You need to be more flexible than you are. Jackie D. So did Pepe perform the system or not? Yeah, he did.
He didn't score. Yeah, of course he did.
That's why we haven't scored again.
That's the system.
It's where nines don't score. That's the system.
You don't want a system where your striker scores goals. It's crazy talk.
No, you want a system where they're sucked into a black hole. And that's Greg. That's what Greg's system does.
When Derek was here, we was talking about it's like it sucks that we're at a point now where we've got like a 26-year-old striker scoring a lot of goals in Bundesliga for the top team in Bundesliga right now. We've got a couple of 21-year-olds that are scoring for the club, and then a 19-year-old that is finally getting back on his feet. And we have a system where none of them can flourish.
Well, let's just say this. That's the strikers. What about the Premier League captain of Fulham, who are mid to upper mid-table right now in the Premier League? He plays every game. He's played every game this season. How about that one guy, John Brooks, who now plays for Benfica, but was a regular starter at Wolfsburg and played in the Premier League, the Champions League on a regular basis? They don't fit into Greg's system either. Maybe Greg needs to rethink his system. If great players or players that actually can make passes out of the back, like Brooks, like Ream, or guys that actually score goals, like Pifok, maybe he needs to ask himself why these players don't fit into his starting 11.
I could just see like Pifok coming in there, scoring a goal in the first half, and then getting subbed out at the beginning of the second half, and Burhalter going, dude, what the fuck were you doing out there?
Quit scoring
goals!
Play my system. Quit scoring goals.
Oh, man.
And that's how all our players look generally, by the way. We'll get in today's game, but the last two games, we just gone back to looking on offense like we're totally constipated and have no
Greg has no understanding for offense.
How to score. Like, no idea how to get a goal. Like
I know how to defend. Well, in the attack, you just get the ball out wide, cross it, and put it in the back of the net, right? That's about it. That's all you got to do.
All you need to do.
That's soccer.
Yep. It's getting to the point where this is laughable.
Yeah.
Now, we've railed on this for a while because, of course, the qualifying was very tight, and we were very nervous about qualifying. In the end, Greg got qualified, and then he all of a sudden got even more arrogant than he's ever been and started talking system 24-7. Greg's system, my system, my system, my system, my system.
I hope Greg started talking in the third person. That'd be great. Greg's system is going to be successful in the World Cup. Only Greg knows how to implement this.
I'd love for him to answer a question like that. So what we're talking about, I understand you're bringing up Pepe, but this really is about Greg's system. Greg?
Yeah.
Greg, you're talking about yourself in third person, Greg? Yes, I am. Because that's
Greg doesn't like that question. Greg's going to ask you to be removed from presser. Bye-bye.
Well, the reason he calls it, Greg's system, even Greg calls it, is because so does everybody else. Everyone on the team talks about the system now. Adam said the word system 5 times in his last interview. I'm sorry.
Is there going to be a new intro for us?
No.
Who says system the most?
What could be? We could do that, but what could be more possibly constraining? Like you're wearing a straitjacket, than having to understand that you live inside somebody's head is a system, a piece of the system, and of course, we're all leaders. We're all leaders. You want to know why? Because Greg does not want to make any one of these guys the leader. It's not that none of them will take it. John Brooks was certainly willing to take that role. Tim Ream's been willing to take that role. All right. But Greg doesn't want those guys. He doesn't want leaders. He wants this stupid pack of guys that somehow believe they're all leaders. Well, I can tell you, you're not. Every team has a leader, and everybody knows who that is generally. So let's quit fucking around and pick one. All right.
Yeah.
It's stupid. I don't want to hear any more American players say we're all leaders. You know what happens when no one takes full responsibility? Nothing gets done. Nothing done. Yep. Absolutely zero. Nobody takes responsibility. If everyone's supposed to take responsibility, nothing gets done and no one takes responsibility. That's what happens. So if you're a real leader, step up and say it. I mean, you can't because Greg's bought into this whole leadership council bullshit. So I guess you're not even allowed to be a real leader anymore.
Yeah.
Greg's the leader. In fact, Adam said so much. He said, well, when you're talking about leaders of the team, that's really Greg and the staff. Oh, really? I don't think that's the question was about. The question was about the players and who would and leadership roles.
I feel like that response was
lame.
Was in a way of putting it back onto Greg. So if and when it fails, like no, Greg's the leader. No, he's the one who's leading us into the World Cup.
Yeah, but then he sold it for Greg for like 5 minutes with McKenny agreeing with him. Right next to him. So after that, I'm just already puking in my mouth and I'm thinking, what is this gibberish? What is this gibberish? No one talks like this. Every team has a leader, period. End of story. This is not a shared job. Everybody in the team should have their responsibility and their duties and do their job, but not everyone on that team is a leader. Don't tell me there's a quiet leader and he leads by example and there's the loud leader, rah-rah leader. And then we have this other guy.
Leader. He's the right back leader.
And there's the other guy on the team. He's a leader because he wipes all our asses before we go on the pitch. make sure we're extra clean, and we appreciate him for that. He's a leader too. And Roldan, he's a leader too. And because he gives great purple nurples. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm fairly annoyed by it at this point, if that's not obvious. The striker spot is a real tough call for the United States men's national team. Do you want Jesus Ferreira, who gets shots but also misses some of them? Yeah, that's true. Or all the other strikers who never shoot. I think Sargent's ready to shoot. He's shown he's ready to shoot for Norwich. I think
give him the fucking ball, and he needs to play.
How about this? Play him. How about that for an idea?
I don't know. Over the course of the last handful of windows, what have we seen? We've seen Ferreira and Pepe get most of the playing time. We've seen PFOC get a half against Mexico, and then
yep.
We've seen Haji get a half, he got two halves
on a fuckfest field.
And the starting half was on a fuckfest field. You know.
Yep.
Sargent got the second half of what was arguably one of the shittiest games I can recall in a long fucking time.
And he didn't play that horrible, but he was not good. No one.
What are you gonna do? I mean, when the team's playing like garbage, it's tough to do anything.
Yep.
It
reminded Sargent of playing with Norwich in the APL.
Jeez. Who's Rashik on my team now? Who do I need to get off the pitch? What the fuck?
In fact, they're not even any greedy players.
This was such a bad post.
Stifled.
Ryan works for ESPN. Netgates.
I mean, I get what he's going at, but
so taking today's game, Jesus did get a nice shot on goal, and it was nice in the sense that was one of our only two shots on goal. So take it for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Pepe didn't shoot, but where was Pepe the entire game, or the entire first half? He was about 30 yards. He was about 20 yards in front of our wings, playing with his back to the goal.
He had a few touches, but yeah.
And all the balls went to his chest.
Yeah, chest or his head.
Such a dumb shot.
Didn't really get it. Nobody was passing to his feet with his back to goal. He always had to fucking take it off his chest first and shit. I don't know what that's all about. Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, Acosta, can you just kick it on the ground, please? Thank you.
Please.
Be nice.
My foot's right here.
Yeah, it's right on the ground.
Let me chest it, bring it down. I've got three people swarming my ass.
Yeah, and because I got to settle it. And once I'm started to settle it, then they get a chance to close. I like how all these U.S. men's national team expert accounts were started in 2022. Yeah, I haven't noticed that, but I'm not on there. But I'm not sure what he's referring to.
There are a couple of new accounts that come on that talk about how they basically know better than Burhalter. Whether they're real or not, I don't know. And I'm not going to dive into who they're actually talking to because I don't know anything about the account. So the whole point is this leads to a very fun interaction with me.
Okay. I'm sure they get all this attention so quick because they're really smart and insightful, and definitely not because they're latching on to a demented circle jerk. Oh, wow. Jesus.
So my response was, does the demented circle jerk include exercising chicken and pork? Sounds like a good time to me.
So this went on with Ben Cork?
No. He's never responded to me.
Oh, okay.
But then we had some fun retweets, as long as there's a system. Beelzebub everywhere. It's a famous demon taking over people, I guess. I had to do a quick search on that because I had no idea who it was at first.
Beelzebub?
Yeah.
Satan.
Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Did someone say jerk chicken or jerk off a chicken? Either way, I'm in. Demented and sad, but social. Like that. Every Saturday night. John Kavulich. First time I've seen John. $20. Thank you. We really do appreciate it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I do a little dance for that. I can't believe this guy. I've been watching for over a decade. And even when we got our asses kicked last cycle, we weren't this uninspired. I seen better coaching at a U7 game. All he did was yell to keep playing his way. True.
Yes,
that's
100%.
what he did.
And when the system failed, He brought on new players to play the same system.
Yeah, I mean, they look stifled. They look clogged up, is what the players look like, and it's hard for them to go and flow and do the things they're really good at. When I think like they're trapped inside this Greg Burhalter matrix that he's created and told them, mapped out for their brains, like, here's the only way you can do it. There's only a couple ways you can penetrate the defense and score, and we're going to do it my way. And if you're not going to do it my way, then don't do it at all. And I feel like these guys, just like the center backs last game, who were looking at each other, you could see Long and Zimmerman going, do we really want to keep doing this out of the back? Or shouldn't we just boot it forward? And then, you could see it in their eyes like, oh, shit, if we do that, we're going to get in trouble.
Well, interesting that I mentioned during the game today, there was a play where Scally, he received the ball and there were two guys around him. And instead of trying to play it out the back, he played it safe, kicked it upfield, but out of bounds at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a time in the Japan game where McKenzie found himself in the exact same scenario, but instead of just playing it safe and playing it out or playing it up, he tried to play it out to probably to Zimmerman or whatever. And he got dispossessed, and they had a chance on goal. They didn't score, but that's neither here nor there.
McKenzie did something very similar today.
Yeah.
And gave it away. And almost, I think, did that lead to one? No, there were no goals. But it led to a goal chance, I believe.
Goal chance, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, hey, John, you're right. For us, we've been constipated along with the team for such a long time, especially in away games. Any game that's not played in the USA. We look really, really stifled. And whenever a team,
8 now?
Yeah. Whenever a team has any time to prepare for us, and this was a B team, basically, for Saudi Arabia, because they were missing so many of their great players.
Injured players, yeah.
And you could say, well, we got injured players too. Well, listen.
Yeah, Derek, we're missing 5 starters. Come on.
5 starters, my asshole. Richards has not proved himself as a starter, but he's better than Long, so just count him in, I guess. Musa is a very important piece. I'll agree. Very important piece. We just don't look the same without him in the midfield.
In Greg's system.
Yeah. Stefan, don't even come at me with Stefan.
Well,
don't even come at me.
Every time they brought Turner in the presser and stuff like that, he made a point to always bring up Stefan's name.
Yeah, fuck him. What a dickhole. Basically, that's how Greg gets the start.
Thank you for being really good for the team. But I'm going to bring up this guy's name over here. Once he's healthy, you're on the bench.
Didn't he? I got a cat coming straight up to my porch.
Looking for those fucking ants, I know. Right?
Hey, hi, buddy. What you doing? Wow.
You hear the cat meow.
Yeah, you don't live here. I'm sorry. You can't come in.
Any food in there? You got any food?
No.
Food. Feed me.
Sorry, honey. Go find your home. I'm not adopting you. No. It's not happening. He's trying to talk me into it.
Derek has to do that.
No. No, I can't do that. I can't. I got to have a fucking at least. I've had pets in my house since I was 18. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
I can't have any more animals for a while. I need a break.
I'm in the same boat, to tell you the truth, when it happens in our house. I'm going to be like, we're going to take some time off of pets. I'm going to be stoked not to have to worry about cleaning my carpets all the time.
I apologize if this continues for the next hour, but this cat is right here on my porch and through the screen is staring me in the face and meowing.
There you go, Derek.
So I don't know what to do about it.
It gets all the pussy.
I used to, but that was many years ago. I was in my 20s when I was a pretty good looking kid.
John, once again, thanks for the $20, man. That was awesome. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I was about to jizz in my pants. Eldon Hashik, $5. I mean, you'll get a stroke for that one, huh, Eldon? The definition of irony. Greg has to swallow his pride and recall Brooks or sacrifice his legacy with a group stage exit. He's going to sacrifice his legacy with a group stage.
He's not wrong. Why would he bring him back in?
He's too stubborn. He's too egotistical. He really believes the system shit. He actually believes it. This is not him just making up stories, to stroke his own wonder wand. He's doing it because he believes it. So he's stroking it with confidence. This isn't just a self-stroking to build confidence. He really thinks that this system is that important that players like that, like Brooks, like Ream, like PFOC, don't belong simply because his system is more important than bringing the best players that we have.
It's fascinating that you brought up the system for the first time in the show.
We needed a ding, ding, ding,
because the U7 was it's U19s. The U19s coach is telling Burhalter, your system's stupid. I don't like it. I'm not going to play your 4-3-3 garbage.
And he won't be along very long. He won't be around.
Instead, we're going to play with 2 sweeper keepers and a 2-3-3-3.
Okay. Where did this come from? Today's U19 national team lineup versus Scotland. The fuck is that? What is that?
It's 2 sweeper keepers.
Was this really on their site?
Yeah, it's U.S. Soccer Youth National Team. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not buying it.
No, legit blue check mark. This is their shit that they posted.
What are they, drunk? There's no 2-3-3-3 system. That doesn't exist.
We've got 2 sweepers and 2 keepers, and if one's out of the goal, they throw gloves to each other and they put them on in the middle of the game.
Can you imagine that one of them's the actual real goalkeeper and the other guy's just an outfield player that has to hang out with the goalie for the whole game in the goal?
Yeah, so
brand new strategy. 2 goalies.
A 2-3-3-3 formation seems bold. And then Al says, "Let's see if that pays off for them, Captain."
Yeah.
Oh, I put U17s, not U19s, but yeah.
That's
I
weird.
look at that. I've noticed that all week. The U19s have been all lining up like this, and they're obviously the goalkeepers. It's not a formation. But it's the weirdest fucking thing in the world that they did this. Because usually they always post like a formation, this type of a graphic.
Well, here's the problem.
Why wouldn't you?
The problem is that U.S. soccer gives so little fucks about the youth teams, especially the boys' youth teams.
It is done by numbers, by the way. I agree. Thanks, Graf.
That they don't even have time to put together a legit lineup. So
yeah.
We got to do this by numbers. Is that what you're saying? Come on, man.
It's posted by numbers. Yes,
I get it, but still, what they're saying is we know so little about the team. We have so little contact with the coach prior to the match.
Yeah, we know who the goalkeeper is, but who the hell are the other players?
We don't know what's going on. So we're just going to do the splattergun thing by number, which is ridiculous because that doesn't mean anything. All right, what do we got? We got more Twitters, tweets. Twats.
We got Rocky here.
Rocky and Talking to Woods. I like that. Talking to Woods.
That's that, by the way. At Talking to Woods.
At Talking to Woods. Tiger Woods? Or smoking weed in the woods and having a good time kind of talk in the woods.
Yeah, just talk in the woods.
Okay. Yeah. I suppose you can do that to the chipmunks and all that shit. We got a clean sheet. Why do we dog our keepers? We're not.
Yeah. I don't know if there
Greg
people?
is.
Oh,
Greg
there you go.
is.
You're right. Yeah. Greg is clearly the issue.
I mean, when you can't talk about Turner unless you've got to bring up Stefan, who's played horrible for Borough most of the season so far.
Mediocre at best for the United States.
Horvath has had a better championship season this season for Luton than Stefan has for Borough.
And I think
period.
National team.
End of story.
This cycle.
So is Stefan is one of your 5 starters, Greg? You were just saying that to self-congratulate or self-rationalize or whatever the fuck you're doing. Because we all know that Stefan should not be the starter right now. He is about on a confidence level of 2 out of 10. Please do not start him in a World Cup game. Please, God, do not do that.
It's going to happen, Derek. If he's healthy, it's going to happen. At this point, just accept it. Bend over and take it.
I'm fine. Well, I don't do that. I'm fine. I always told the gals that I was dating I wasn't into that. So anyhow, So I'm okay with saying Jedi's that, or Richards is that, or Weah is that, or who's the other guy we're missing that's limping around that he says is a automatic? Weah? Did I miss Weah?
I don't know. Well,
Weah, Musa, Jedi, Richards. Yeah, okay. And he's counting Stefan as his fifth. Well, fuck you, Greg. You got 4, bitch. 4 at best. Don't lie and say 5. You're missing 5 starters. Fuckface, because you goddamn know that Stefan wasn't even injured when you left him off the team in the first place. You know he wasn't. Okay? You know he wasn't.
Derek, he wanted him to fight for his spot back on the Burrow team.
Because he played 2 games later after you said he was injured. You fucking lying schmuck, and no one was even in camp yet. You lying sack of shit. Sick of this bullshit. I'm sick of the fucking circle. It's like a whirlpool going down the drain.
So that's a possibility, I guess. There are 5 starters missing in that game, and Pulley might have been the 5th instead of Stefan.
I hope that's what he meant.
Fingers crossed.
David D, if you can dig into GGG's mind and let us know, man. If that's what he's talking about, I can live with that. But Pulisic got that knock, which was unexpected. I'm not sure. When the cat left, he gave up after about 2 minutes of meowing in my face.
Shoot that pussy away, yeah.
He's a cutie, or she, I don't know. I mean, I like cats, but
oh no, I purposely don't want to maximize that because I want you to read the chat while this is all occurring.
Oh, you gotta. Oh, I can't read it from here; it's too small.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Just note that the chat is for the next 4 minutes. We're not gonna watch 4 minutes of it by any means, but the next 4 minutes, everybody in the chat's just coming up with new names to bring up. You know,
Lou Coutry, $4.99. Thanks, Lou. Big Lou. U.S. Soccer and Greg are just like the Democrats. Oh no, Greg. You're going to make me read this. We don't do politics on this show. I have to control the narrative that everything is great and make us think that we are stupid. I have no idea whether Greg is what political party he's a part of, but one thing he certainly is full of shit. And yes, they do. Like Michael Cameron getting angry at the press for asking critical questions. That's so Michael Cameron. And yes, does that a controlling element within U.S. Soccer? It is. And they're ask the guy whose book I'm on the back of, writing a great review for him because he put me on the back of the book, and I'm in the book. I can't remember his fucking name right now. David something. Anyhow, we have this long conversation about how difficult it was for him to write that book because everybody in U.S. Soccer is cautious as a snake in the grass. They are cautious, but when you fucking offend them, they'll bite your fucking ankles off. That's what they'll do. So just keep in mind what you're dealing with. And you are absolutely right that the narrative is they're trying to create it. They're trying to drive it.
They're trying to control.
Yep. That's why Michael Cameron used to announce before every interview. Greg Burhalter is the first manager to ever win 32 games with players under the age of 22. Greg Burhalter is the first manager to win the first 3 tournaments he entered because he is awesome. His dick is very long and succulent. Succulent, I'm sorry, not succulent.
One of those things.
I mean, it's you're right. Lou, they're paranoid. I don't know about the politics thing. I ain't getting into that. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Slippery slope at that point.
It is.
You got another one here?
Christopher Hauman. Good German name. $2. Do you think GGG has shown his worst past 2 games? No, I think he's shown it all along. It's just been sort of mixed with a game or 2 that we won at home. And, you win some home games. You qualify for the World Cup. Greg gets a big, gigantic hard on, thinks it's even more about him now than it ever was. And now we got to hear about a system in every fucking interview he does 5 or 6 times. So I don't know, man. I don't think this is the worst. I think we could honestly get blown out in the World Cup. I think we could lose to Iran 2-0. I think we could lose to Wales 1-0. I think we could get blown out. I mean, I would think, but England's garbage, so I don't think they'll blow us out. So, but I think they're probably going to win because, as bad as Southgate is and how bad he has fucked up that team, and turned them into Burhalter, a Burhalter system clone team,
Mm-hmm.
they got more talent generally than we do, and more depth. So they're going to be okay. They may only beat us 1-0, but they'll win, I think, at this point, even with Southgate. But managers like Southgate and Burhalter, they need to go. They need to go because they're old sauce. Everyone's seen this fucking routine. Everyone has seen a team that isn't suited to play like fucking Barcelona or play a high press or whatever. We've seen this shit. It doesn't work. You cannot force this to happen. And if you want to, and Brett talked and I talked about this today, you can do it in the Jesse Marsh way where you're playing a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1, and you got much more flexibility playing that way, and you get more of our best players in the game, like Raina playing a CAM behind the striker, who could be PFOC because that system works with that kind of poacher slash. But no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do it.
That system could work for PFOC, Pepe, or Sargent, quite frankly.
Yes, it could.
So, all right, let's listen to some Pete and Filippo here. A lot of people were talking about this clip early on in the segment, and I didn't want to bring it up because, spoilers.
What happened?
Well, let's see what happens here. He's talking about the head coach. Let's make it happen. He's talking about Conte for head coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good coaches, Latinos, white, black, it doesn't matter. Get the good coaches. Jack Mehoff, Triple G doesn't have a plan for this team. If you're going to play that shitty formation without at least a CAM, at least get a player like Musa to have more creativity in the middle. Well, Jack, Musa was injured in this game. We also need Brooks. Yeah, I mean, we've talked endlessly about this.
Please call him Mr. Mehoff.
Consistency between the personnel he
Mr.
selects
Mehoff is my
and the style
father's
he wants
name.
to play. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. And there's no.
When is Jack going to tell him?
Watch him. He's reading the chat. He's reading it right now.
I'm sorry, I missed your positive while I was looking at Sam's stage.
Wait, Pete, did you fall for it? Did you just read this one?
I just read Jack Mehoff's.
Oh my god, you fell for it again.
I don't care, dude. I don't care. I don't care. You want to do that in the chat? I don't care. If it brings you some joy, if it makes you smile, if it makes you laugh,
good. Yes.
Glad because you have very precious little to laugh about today.
Oh my god!
Oh, come on, Pete.
It's bringing us joy, Pete. Oh my goodness.
Pete was so upset about the game, he could not bring out any humor today. He's like, fuck Greg, fuck this game. Don't even try to be motherfucking funny, Jack Mehoff.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah, no.
He did take it in stride. He's like, yeah, hey, if it makes you happy, good for you, I guess. I'm not seeing any joy today.
Oh, God.
No. Somebody sent me the timestamp, and I'm like, no, it didn't happen again. I'm like, oh my god.
I guess we're probably partially to blame for this.
Oh no, we're absolutely to blame for this.
So Pete, don't get upset at any of them. They're just having a good time. It's probably our fault for starting this whole Amanda hug and kiss situation. All right. What, we got another one?
Total inability to advance the ball. Only positive I could find, truly. Is there anything about TS that will get me in trouble if I say TS? Yeah, I'm just trying to go with names.
No, you're good at
I'm double reading every name now. Yeah, I don't think Jess looked terrible in the.
Christ almighty. Oh no.
Just look out, Pete, for Harry Paratestes, because we've seen him. He's a Greek guy.
He's everywhere.
And his first name's Harold, but he goes by Harry Paratestes. Mr. Paratestes to you. All right. That is classic. And we already knew that they're going to have the same reaction we did because they've been saying the same shit to you about Greg's system. Mm-hmm. And what was the title of theirs? Greg's system fails again?
Yeah. It's my system. It's failing me. No.
Oh, my God. You could just see Greg out there grunting every time something went wrong today. And just, it's my system taking another ass beating. Oh, God, this hurts. This is all your fault, you guys.
So many articles and questions are going to come my way now.
Where's your personalities? Where? In my system, you're supposed to have personalities. And yet there were no personalities because you've killed their personalities, their artistry, Greg, by your system, which is like sticking a fucking big ass boot up a toilet and flushing it. And of course it's not going to go down, dummy. It doesn't fit. Jesus.
Good Lord.
Greg, what a fucking party pooper that guy is. He must be real fun at parties. Can you imagine that? You're hanging out with Greg, having a few beers, and it's like, hey, can I tell you about my system? No! I don't want to know about your system. I don't want to know anything about it at all, Greg. We're partying. We're talking about fairies and Disneyland and Star Wars. And now you're jumping into your system. Well, I got this system thing about Star Wars. I don't want to hear that either, dude. Listen, life's not about systems. Life's about building frameworks for success. There you go. And I'm not talking about that either with you, Greg. Fuck off. Well, I'd really like to know more about your framework for success and how it might fit in my system. It's too big for your system, Greg.
Oh, that's she said.
Yeah.
All right. Wait a second.
All right.
That's what he said?
I mean, honestly, it's funny that we're making this much fun of all this because we really watched the game together today at Brett's house. And we were like, my mom sent me a 2-page fucking text practically about how bad the game was. So I was already expecting a stinker going into it. And it was a stinker. Yeah, but it wasn't like, oh my God, I couldn't believe we were this bad. No, it was.
I'll put it this way: it was significantly better than the Japan game. So,
yeah,
steps in the right direction, I guess.
Against a much weaker team that we should have beat 2-0. Saudi Arabia missing some of their best players.
Yeah,
from injury.
I won't reiterate the who are missing 5 players too. There. Yeah.
2 shots on goals. One was a dick trickler from McKennie. All right. And what was the other one? It was early on.
It was Ferreira. It was Ferreira right to the goalkeeper.
Yeah. So we had 2 shots. One was a dick trickler, and the other one was.
We had 7 shots, but only 2 of them were on goal.
I know. I'm just talking about the 2 that were on goal.
I think the most dangerous shot we had was Adams.
I get it.
25 yards out. That just barely missed. But it was probably the most dangerous one we had.
Dude, that was the most Adams shot in the world. All right. He misses frame. That's what he does.
That was Adams' best shot in the world.
Yeah, I know it only missed by 2 feet, but because usually he misses by 6 or 8. But this time he only missed by 2. I'm just saying the true shots were a dick dribbler from McKennie. Those are the ones that barely get to the goalie. And the other one was I'm going to kick it to you right to your hands shot by Ferreira.
It's a typical warm up before the game type of shot, like goalkeeper catches it.
Right. Kick it to the goalkeeper. He needs practice. Catching. He needs practice catching? Shouldn't we be trying to score on him so he has to try to save them? It seems like that's a better way to practice. I mean, I never understood that, where they have the assistant coaches kicking the goalies. They're like 6 feet away from him going, kick, here, go, catch that. Kick, oh, catch that. Okay. Any asshole can catch a fucking ball. Just give me a break. If you can't catch, you shouldn't be a goalie. All right, Midnight Man. Man, we got a lot of new gift givers tonight. I'm feeling loved. $9.99. If you turn that upside down, that's 666, the number of the beast. All right, I'm not into that. I'm just saying. That's a song by Iron Maiden.
You're not into bestiality. That's good, Derek.
No, that's an Iron Maiden song.
Oh,
the number of the beast. I'm in London now. He's an American in London, like a werewolf. I'm in London now, and a lot of England fans see that the U.S. men's national team is experiencing a golden generation, but warned not to be like Belgium's talented players with a subpar coach. Wow, that's really rough on the Belgium coach, because I don't think he's even this much of a dick licker of his own dick, like he self-blowing. Burhalter's.
Well, I mean, I guess in that point, Belgium again has some very, very talented players in comparison.
I agree.
So
I'm not disagreeing.
It's the same England issue that we had mentioned earlier. That
I guess my question.
Burhalter has a very talented young squad too, and he likes to lean on that crutch too, man. Let's not forget this is a very young team, but they're playing at like the top fucking teams of the top fucking leagues.
Yes,
You shouldn't be using it as a crutch anymore.
Yes, and we just played Japan, and we just played Saudi Arabia, and we all saw what we did away from home in CONCACAF. And I don't want to hear that it's hard playing in CONCACAF bullshit. Like, you seriously could only win one away game in the whole of the Oct? Really? That's it. That's all you could only pull one win out of that. Like, ties were totally acceptable, and we had to wait until the last handful of games to know if we were really qualified for the World Cup. That's fun? No, it's not fun for me. It wasn't fun for anybody.
Score up on teams.
And my mom said something. Where is it? My mom said maybe the players are all on these big teams now, and they don't care about the national team as much as they care about making money. And I said, Mom, no. I was on the phone on the way to your place. I'm like, Mom, no, that's not it at all. These players care, but they feel crushed by this suffocating system. They don't feel
I think
like
Burhalter's just lost the locker room.
That,
Clean.
But it's also like when you could tell Tuchel lost the locker room, right? And remember when Pulisic scored, but he didn't do it Tuchel's way, and he got yelled at? That's what it's like in this team. Like, you could see both Zimmerman and Long looking at each other versus Japan going, okay, are you going to be the first guy to just boot this fucker out? Or is it going to be me? Because I don't want to get in trouble. You do it, I'll do it. If you do it, I'll do it. But nobody would do it. They wouldn't do it. They just refuse. They just continue to play this disastrous shit out of the back the whole fucking game because they were told to do what Greg says. What does he say? Be brave in the back. Be brave in the back. Yeah, that's what she said. I'll do that. All right. But it didn't work. Doesn't work for Greg. Doesn't work for Greg. I'm sorry. This whole be brave in the back thing is so buffalo sex. I don't know how to describe it.
Don't know how to even interpret that, to tell you the truth.
It's not a good watch.
Oh, sure. All right, Midnight Man, thanks for the $10. Appreciate that.
Christopher Ellie, $2. Thank you, Christopher. Looks like you won't get to do that doll, Derek. Like I said, Christopher, she might get to do me at this rate if I can find an affordable gag blow-up one. Unless I'm going to go straight for the, and just buy one because I'm like, well, I can use it for the show, and later on I could just fuck it if I'm bored.
She'll just sit in the background while you're giving the thing. Yeah. Like Sam's got his whole like background set up and everything. It's a nice little setup.
Yeah.
Derek's gonna have his sex doll sitting behind him that he's paid like $800 for.
Yeah.
And she's gonna be rocking the green and black Indy 11 scarf.
No, I'm gonna have her dressed up as England, as like an English national team.
No, I know that was the whole point of what you're gonna do if we beat them. I'm just saying
right.
you're gonna keep her and add her to your background.
Well,
it's part of your set. If
they beat us, I guess I better invest in a strap-on for her, because then I got to take it, I guess. But
I guess gonna blow up male doll.
No. But if I get one of those big expensive ones, if I decide, because I did a search on sex doll, and all the sex dolls are really expensive, man, and they are like lifelike. It's crazy. So I'm looking through this going, I'm looking for a blow-up doll, but damn, these look pretty hot, and I'm all 51. I mean, shit, what do you guys think? Should I just buy a really expensive sex doll and dress her up for the show? Or do we want the gag doll?
You're sitting there with your arm around her, and she's just going to be part of the show. Like, hey, what do you think?
It's my new girlfriend. On the box, it said her name was Narnia. She's 5'4" with blue eyes and red hair. All right. Anyhow, there are all kinds of choices. You can even build your own. I hear. I don't hear it. I looked it up because I did the wrong search. Anyhow, that's the word on the sex dolls. That's the update. Please talk about soccer, guys. What? You got children in the room? Jesus Christ!
Hey,
TS. Was that TS? That was TS.
He was losing it earlier. He's like, I'm dying here. Please talk about soccer.
Okay. All right. I thought we were.
We have been. All right. Anyways, we have an interview here with Mr. Burhalter.
You and I?
Well, we're here.
Oh, I thought you made a few calls and he was coming on the show.
Yeah. Greg, please hold. We'll bring you in shortly. Don't worry.
Another one of those fucking goddamn. Another one dead. Hey, keep coming, guys. I'm going to keep killing you, you stupid sugar ants. fuckers on my computer too. It's like you've got a whole fucking room to run around in. You're all climbing on my computer. What is that? There's another bastard. God damn it. No, he's a dead bastard. All right, what are you doing? You gonna play this?
No, you said you have timestamps for this.
I did, but I thought that we weren't going to do
We're
it.
not talking about the pre-presser? Okay, that's fine. I guess we can finish this up, but we're doing the 55th minute. Let's talk about the actual game, I guess.
Okay. Oh man, I did have a timestamp on Davies' last rant on their show. And the name of the video was Japan Exposes U.S. Men's National Team. This is on Exposes?
Huh?
Yes. Stripped him down nude, tied him to the flagpole, and strung him up high. What?
Wow, Grant Tuberville is on fucking fire.
What?
Oh my god, hold on. I've got to I don't know if I want to show this.
Okay, well, if you have that much of an issue with it, I wouldn't. I mean, if you're saying that, it must really be like questionable, highly.
No, it's
because you.
I'm not going to. Grant has moved Burhalter's face onto Colin's face on one of Colin's videos.
Oh yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's funny as fuck.
It just looks strange because I know it's Colin. I'm like looking at him like, no, that's Greg's face.
Yeah.
That threw me for a loop, man.
Yeah, that'd be creepy to watch anyhow. Can we go to the second to last In Soccer We Trust show?
Oh my god. Actually, the video is where Colin talks about Tactical and Pete being Twitter ISIS.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Guys, if you want to watch the video, Grant put a lot of effort into this, I guess. It's on it's been tagged to me. So you guys can go on our Twitter and find it.
I'm sure it's good if Brett's recommending it. Trust me, it'll probably freak you out.
Well, I mean, it's one of Colin's videos. I mean, everybody's probably seen the video itself.
Yeah, but it's got Greg's head on it.
Yeah, it's got Greg's head on it now, so it's kind of funny.
That's a little freaky. Can you go to? It's called what? No. Go to Jimmy's show.
Oh,
I've been trying to get you to do this for 5 minutes now, but
I was laughing my ass off.
You were too big getting tubered by Tuberville.
Too big? It's too big, huh?
Tuberville is actually.
And
the name of the show.
Wait, hold on. What's their actual thing called again? It's called In Soccer We Trust.
In Soccer We Trust. And God forgive me if they've changed the name of the show again. I'm gonna fucking have a fit.
Which video is it?
Japan exposes U.S. men's national team, and it is 13 minutes in exactly. This is fucking Charlie Davies losing his shit about the Japan game and not holding back one iota. And look how uncomfortable Jimmy and Heath kind of look about it. I mean, they laugh along, but is that your dog?
You said snoring? Yes.
13 minutes.
All right.
I bring the cat, you have a dog. At least that sounds like
all right. Who brought the dog?
Snoring instead of farting, which is good
all
for
right.
you.
And you said 13 minutes, right?
Yep.
Because he's not in the show yet.
That can't be. Oh, it must be a shorter version chunk of that show. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know where. We don't know where at in that sense.
No.
So it's Japan.
That's the one we just did?
Yeah.
Well, fucking A, man. I'm glad I wasted my time stamping it.
Yeah. Was it 1 hour and 13 minutes in, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. Try that.
We'll give it a gamble. Why not?
It's really when he starts. He comes in.
Okay, yeah.
It's the first time you see Charlie. He goes on the rant. Sound. Yeah, he's already going off. Can't hear still.
Do it! You can't hear it?
Nope.
Oh shit! I could have swore I hit that fucking button.
And I swear. Do, 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 do,
Oh, sorry, wrong song. The right song, actually. Yeah, look at that. All right. We'll go back.
Go back a little. Yep, here he goes.
Ever really raw and repointed. You want to give you? I'm going to give you my rant. I'm going to be just raw and real. And we're talking. How much stock do we ever really put in friendlies, right? But this is a friendly that matters. There's only one more before the World Cup.
What?
Real friendly.
So
I don't want to hear any excuses of, they've been away for a long time. We have guys. No, this is a World Cup. This is supposed to be a simulation of a group stage match. If this was the World Cup, we were getting smoked. We are absolutely getting trashed. Horrible. In the first half, you want to talk.
Not that I think Jimmy's going to copyright us by
CBS.
Pause it here for a second.
CBS might.
Those little bastards. Yeah, so I would love to see Charlie get real, and I love the emotion he's actually putting into this, because usually he's pretty laid back and chilled and talking with his talking points and going like this. But now we're actually seeing it. I like it.
I do too. I really do.
Talk about players and how many people were talking about Aaron Long, and I don't want to go at players. I'm not having to go at players. But Aaron Long,
a preface. I don't know. Aaron Long is trash. Is that where you want to go?
I'm not saying, but how many giveaways? Because we are not playing to their strengths. We want to talk about building out of the back all the time. How poor was that?
How long are we
building out of
looking
the
at
back?
this thing for?
That's not our strengths. We don't have center back. We don't have Thiago being able to build out of the back. We don't have Virgil van Dijk. We don't have these players.
Amen.
Right. They are, in fact, not Americans, and we do not have them.
No,
I 100% agree.
Hey, but we got Riemann Brooks. Don't forget that.
We did.
They can do those kind of things.
And they can play out of the back, and they can lace those long balls. Although I would say we did lace quite a few decent long balls this last match.
What? No, we didn't. There were a couple to McKenzie. McKenny. And a couple to Pulisic that he couldn't quite trap over his shoulder. Yeah, I guess that one was. But there were several long balls. That was not for the center backs, though. Well, maybe not. No, they weren't. Oh, Cat's back.
I don't have the time to go back and look for it.
Cat's back.
Let's get them high. Get the ball off their feet.
Get them high? What? Rewind that. Let's get them high.
Virgil van Dijk. We don't have these players. So let's get them high.
Yes.
Yes.
Charlie has been watching us.
I would get the whole starting 11 high as fuck and just tell them, go out there and be creative and do your best. I would say, fuck the formation. You play whatever you want.
And skip them. I don't want to see us building out of the back because
Greg Burhalter said, do not give the ball to our center backs. Do not. If you see them, Matt Turner, kick it long, move
long, get everyone up, and then win the second ball, and then play. Because that's when we were at our best.
I fully agree.
We're watching. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, are we still playing out of the back? Stop.
And this was our show like
45 minutes ago. Well, no.
A year ago, yes.
We were doing the show a year ago. They were not, by the way. They were still doing their Disney starting 11 with Greg. They were still living.
Charlie wasn't there with him yet.
No, they were living in a fairy world. Then they brought Charlie on. Charlie's losing his shit, just like anybody who's been watching these last two games is probably doing, unless you're one of those guys. Yeah, well, there was that time leading into that one World Cup where France lost both games. One of them was to us, and they still went on, and they finished in second or first or whatever it was. Don't even come at me with that. Number one, we're not France. And number two, we're looking a lot more pathetic than that. And by the way, they were coached by one of the worst managers in the world at the time. And now we have ours right now. The most stubborn, egotistical, self-centered manager we've ever had. And that's saying something because Klinsmann was just manager not long ago. There you go.
Sorry. Heath in the hat. Christian Bale standing in the newsies.
That's why they call him Hollywood Heath Pierce. Someday we'll have Heath on. Again, we'll have Jimmy on again. Yeah. We got to
go through our whole cycle. We got a bunch of people got to get back on.
That's true. Kind of stop doing that.
I
Stop
know.
it.
People
That's
like
the
this,
thing-
Derek.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what bothers me. No. I just want to jump in because
Do
we
you
didn't
think that's
adjust.
Greg, or
Why
do
didn't
you
we
think
do
that's
that?
All three of us
Do
should
you
talk
think
at the
that's
same
Greg
time.
saying try? Because we decided, and Charlie, before you came on, we were talking about how we decided a long time ago that would not be our thing as a national team, because if it was, then those would not be your center backs. If you want guys if you want their primary strength to be playing out of the back, get them off the field, because we got much better passers in our national team pool. But we established that these guys brought other strengths to the table. Therefore, get them off the field. If you're going to try to play through it, get them off the field. So there's had to be some sort of mandate of like playing through. Again, I know the press, they were trapping us. They were playing they wanted our center backs to play.
Yeah.
But us just trying to play underneath constantly was just so predictable that you go, man, who did this? Was it Greg?
Who's starting to sound like us all of a sudden? We used the word predictable a year ago. We said the same thing about the center backs a year ago, and now they're coming out with this. Okay, I'm happy they are, but I know
how many windows did we sit here and say, hey, you know what? Miles and Zimmerman are pretty good as far as playing that high press, but they cannot make a pass forward for the life of them.
Right.
How long? How long have we been saying it?
And how long did we tell you that Greg does not like Brooks? Period. It's not just about the way he plays, or he doesn't like that. Obviously, he doesn't like guys that can hit, 60-yard fucking straight laced kicks, perfect passes down the line. Doesn't want that. Although he's asking Zimmerman and Brooks to do something like that, through passes to break the lines. Really? Those two guys? Greg, who you been watching? Have you been watching MLS this season? Because neither of those guys do that on the teams they play with. But guess who does? Brooks did. So does Ream for Fulham. So anyhow, this discussion is just getting irritating at this point for me, which is why I'm kind of grumpy today, outside of the fact that I woke up at 6:30 and ran a conference all day.
So early.
And I'm tired. Well, the day before I woke up at 5:30, so fuck you. And that's not what I do generally. So anyhow, I just thought I'd bring them in just to give an example of how some of the more mainstream guys, these guys are with CBS, and they're finally saying we've had enough of this too. So it wasn't just us, wasn't just Pete, wasn't just Tact, wasn't just Jake,
not just Sam.
Sam is an interesting thing because here on his last show, and I did not timestamp this, said the following, and I'm paraphrasing. What about the players? Maybe these players really aren't that good. What's your reaction to that, Brett?
Ronaldo had a response to something similar to that. So somebody responded like, we're dealing with the most talented generation ever, and Ronaldo went down a list like, is so-and-so better than Wayne and Donovan, is so-and-so better than Tim Howard, is so-and-so better than Dempsey, is so-and-so better than et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's kind of an interesting point, but I think when comparing those players, you have to, and I know I talked about age as the crutch, but most of those players, when we're talking about those players, their prime was like they were hitting it at that point. And that's what we remember, not necessarily when they were younger, although.
Right.
So I think we have arguably probably the most talented squad, but whether or not the team plays as a squad is completely different. I blame that solely off of the tactics and the system
that Greg uses.
Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know, Sam. I would still put most of this on Greg because I think that, listen, look at some of his picks, right? Brooks is a veteran. Why isn't he there? Pifok is older. Why isn't he there? If you want more maturity, because that's what I'm guess you're saying, that this is a really young team, so they're not really there yet. I get that, but Greg, as the manager, has an opportunity to bring in some old guys like Ream, Brooks, and Pifok to bring that maturity to this team if you're worried about maturity. So that's still on Greg.
Mm-hmm.
That's still on Greg, even if you're talking about maturity and how this team's so young and maybe they're just not quite ready yet. Well, you could supplement the team with some older guys and not just DeAndre Yedlin, like other older guys like Ream, Pifok, and
We've
Brooks.
left off a couple of them, yeah.
Yeah. It's called Soccer. Go to that show if you haven't watched it yet. It's on YouTube's. Klinsmann had no tactics at all, and it worked better because the players just decided what to do on the field. You were so right. Whereas we went from one extreme to the next. So Klinsmann was fired. Then we had Saracen, who doesn't count, who really would just kind of fucked around, which was fine because that kind of fucking around worked when we played in Europe in some of those friendlies. He didn't have necessarily a system. He kind of held Bruce's old ideas of, well, we'll just play, we'll play the opponent. We'll change the formation to meet the opponent's strengths. That's how we used to play, actually. That's smart. Mm-hmm. And then we got the opposite of Klinsmann. We got a fucking control freak. A weird-ass, selfish, arrogant, well, those were all Klinsmann too, but a control freak in the sense like, this is exactly what you're supposed to do on the field when you're playing in my system. Jerk off. And I think he is losing. I think he is losing the locker room, Brett.
Yes, I mean, I really do. You saw when Pulisic came off the pitch today.
Yeah, God, yeah.
He tossed the armband to Adams. Adams was like, "Whoa, where the fuck the band go?"
He didn't even hand it to him. He just chucked it at him.
And then he ran off, high five Tillman and Aronson, and then just bolted past Burhalter.
Oh, he was pissed.
I mean, just
fuck. He's like, there's 20 minutes. There's 15 minutes, 20 minutes left in this game, and you're yanking me out? What are you doing, fuckface? To put Tillman in? I mean, Tillman had one good play, but other than that, he looked like a goddamn fucking deer in headlights out there.
And Berlin brings up a great point. We're only at 29 likes. Guys, make sure you hit that like button down below.
Yes, you can tap it lightly with a phalange or any other parts of your body that stick out and are long enough to hit the button.
So Bar Down Bully says when Gio left, and he has the crying faces, and then Alex also backs it up saying, I thought Gio was angry and he walked off. Derek and I were actually surprised.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, all of a sudden Raina's walking off the pitch. We're like, was this planned? What's happening here? And all the announcers was like, well, we're going to have to get more information. And then later on, it came up that it was a precaution. It was a precaution. They're taking it slow.
It looked planned because Areola was ready to go. So,
well, I mean, it may have been planned enough for Areola to get ready and prepped, but I guess Gio was not expecting it. So hold on now. Let's see what happened. I've got a couple of people here talking about it. Like, Gio took himself off. Did he get injured? No. As far as what I understand, he wasn't injured. They took him off because of a precaution. That's what they said during the show, the game itself.
Those fuckers don't know what they're talking about, though. They're just speculating, just like any of us are. They don't really know what happened down there. So he did not look particularly happy. But yeah, a 30-minute sub, that's weird. It was really weird and awkward. And so either he had a hammy thing and that's what he was upset about, or one of his numerous different injuries in his legs, or it's hard to say.
Okay, there we go. The report was that Gio felt muscle tightness.
Yeah, better get him off.
So they pulled him off. Yeah. Okay. If that's the case, I'm perfectly fine with that. And
when I say better to get him off, I mean pull him off. I mean, not even that really.
Oh, okay.
Either. Take him off. Take him off.
Yank him off?
No, not yank him off. Not pull him off. Not jerk him off or anything. Just
ask him to walk off the pitch.
Remove him from the pitch. All right. What else we got? I mean, should we actually talk about
we're an hour and 15 minutes into the show. Let's actually talk about the actual topic, I guess.
Well, we have talked about the game a bit.
We've been sprinkling it in.
Yeah. We were just talking about Raina. Okay. Honestly, who had the better goal scoring chances? It was Saudi Arabia. I think we were watching the game and I thought, how did they not get that in the goal?
We had the one that Areola cleared off the 6. We had the one in the first minute of the game.
Yep.
A couple other saves I thought were kind of standard for Turner to make, but still had to make them regardless.
When you say Turner, did you mention Stefan? Because you need to mention Stefan.
My bad. Yeah, my bad.
You talk about Turner.
If Stefan was in there, he would have shut that down earlier.
Just remember, when you bring up Turner, you must also now talk about Stefan or make some reference to how good Stefan is.
So, I know, and so obviously we both think that that Saudi Arabia had the better opportunities as a whole.
It could have been 2-0 Saudi Arabia.
That's not to say that we didn't have our chances. What it seemed like most of our chances were either our players were just a smidge offside, got called off. We saw that a number of times. McKinney was off at least 3 times. Pepe had the one early.
Areola made at least 3 crosses where he never looked up. He never looked up at all. He just crossed into the box without looking. He just head down, boop, praying, just hoping.
Nobody was there. Shit.
Nobody was there. I mean, nobody was at the ever like when we do our corner kicks. It's always to the near post, and everyone's on the far post.
I mentioned during it because obviously we've always talked about this because it always happens. We can't get past that first man of defense. So I've got a brilliant idea. Why doesn't somebody like Zimmerman or Long make that near post run and cut that first line defense off and slip it? There's an idea.
There's an idea. You know, he's just slip it into the middle. That's an idea. Although we've seen them fail at that too, by the way, with Zimmerman on that run. And with Pepe on that run before. But I do have to say our corner kicks are just garbage. They're just straight up garbage. They're just bad.
Yeah.
They're generally bad.
I was actually kind of surprised that Acosta wasn't taking more of our free kicks and our corner kicks. Maybe because he's probably not a guaranteed starter, so you want to kind of get the guaranteed starters in there trying to do it.
Yeah.
But
he's better than anybody else on the team.
Yeah, I know. That's one of his
that's
strengths.
Scary.
And his attitude.
Except for Raina. Raina's better than him on corner kicks. Does take better corner kicks. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, we had our opportunities. Like we had mentioned, Adams' shot was probably the most dangerous one. We mentioned the 2 shots actually on goal earlier.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple times where a long ball would come across over the defense, and Pulisic would try to bring it down. It just come over his shoulder, didn't time it properly.
It looked good.
They were like I said, this was a much better game than the Japan game. That's not saying that's not saying it was a good game.
That's not saying much.
No,
actually.
I mean it's a step up from garbage.
It's kind of a slight skip up, maybe. I don't know about a jump or a full step. It's kind of like
it's like the step in my my living room. You're talking about the 5 to 6 inches higher, so you trip all over it.
I mean, it's like that 1 year in puberty when your dick went from 5.5 inches to 6. You're like, that's a step up, but it's not as big as I'd like it. I mean, for others, that would be big enough. So, okay. Even 5.5 is fine. I'm not judging anybody. All right. Al Weinstein. Sorry. I saw that. I'm not hitting the like button until the cat is in the house. He's gone. He came back for a while and stared at me, and then he left again. It's
probably crying by a trash can now because Derek wouldn't let him in.
I mean, he looks like he's owned by somebody else. He's in really good shape. He looks fit. He
get a lot of protein catching those mice and moles and shit.
He doesn't look skinny. He does not have a necklace, whatever. The collar. Thank you. God damn it.
Words can be difficult late at night.
I know. Here's a guy who's obviously never been into, sadomasochistic sex because I don't even know what a collar is fucking called. All right.
Yeah, me neither.
T.S. Eliot, $5. Thank you, my brother. If you've never read, T.S. Eliot.
Words, difficult.
Yeah, I know. It's getting to that time of night where you've gotten up at 6:30 in the morning and you've worked your ass off all day and you haven't really had much to eat. And you've been drinking since your house. So here we go. GC Greg gave up on playing from the
Gold Cup.
In the Gold Cup, Greg gave up on playing. Yeah, don't just Gold Cup me. I can't read. I don't know what.
No. The problem is when you do a super chat, you only get a certain amount of characters based on how much you pay. So at $5, it's just like a tweet. You only get X amount of characters. So he may have to, or TS, or whoever, may have had to abbreviate or just felt like abbreviating if it's on the phone.
And that's really tough when you're making T.S. Eliot do that because he's a really great writer.
Too many words.
In Gold Cup, Greg gave up on playing from the back and we grinded out the cup. Do you think he is sane enough to do that in the World Cup? God damn, I hope so. Stream is good. Thanks. I'm imagining that's what Sturm means.
Yeah. I was like, Storm.
Sturm is good.
Stream is good. Thanks, DS. Appreciate that.
We do.
Yeah,
we really do.
this has been an off the wall type of fun stream.
It seems like when we got really desperate, that's when we stopped playing out of the back. But we always seem to start every game deciding that's what we wanted to do. But we would eventually go, you know what? We're desperate. We need a goal. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't listen. When a guy says the word system 6-7 times in an interview every time, I'm beginning to feel this guy's pretty wrapped up in his system, which includes playing it out of the back and playing brave out of the back. And
jumping back into the game and seeing how we're an hour and 20 in, let's lightning around some of this shit, I guess.
Okay.
Since the talking point of the entire game before and after, I guess now, is going to be the striker role. How did you think Pepe did?
I thought he did like he usually does, and he gets a couple chances, or not chances, not outright chances, but he gets the ball passed to him to his chest. He didn't have much to do.
Yeah, he had absolutely nothing to do. He didn't get any opportunities. The only times he ever touched the ball was when he, like I said, he was checking 20 yards past his wings, got the ball, laced to his chest, brought it down, and then tried to pass it off. He didn't have much to do. I mean, I know we had that joke tweet talking about Ferreira shooting on goal, and yes, he did shoot on goal. But I still feel like Burhalter's system stifles the 9 and stifles our attack in general for the most part. But it really stifles the 9 because they're the one player that you would hope would at least perform and have the YouTube highlight reel type of plays, but they're not there.
It's like telling Pepe, if you're Greg, you're like, dude, you're going to play center forward for us, and it's like, we're going to a titty bar, right? And then Pepe gets all excited. He's like, oh, yes, I get to start. And then they get to the titty bar, and the rules are that they all their areolas have to be covered by these big Band-Aids and things. And he's like, it's not a titty bar.
Pictures of areola on their areolas, right?
Yeah, something like that. And he's like, wait a minute, this isn't really a strip bar. This is just chicks with like tiny things over their one part of their breast that has nipples on it. Yeah, it's very disappointing. That was the rule, by the way, in Indiana. You have to wear Band-Aids over your nipples. I don't know if it still is. It just was back when I was in college.
Something to cover A.
Yeah. Clam pack. Pack of clams. FC $9.99. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Clam.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you for always keeping it real. Most critical soccer countries equal most successful soccer countries. Yeah, but U.S. soccer and Michael Cameraman don't want to hear that, Jazz. They don't want to hear it. They're not interested in it. Even though Michael said he would go on Pete's show whenever asked. Oh, yeah, right. I bet you would.
I just want somebody to take to bite the bullet and simply go up there with the question to Greg and say, hey, Greg, your system has sucked donkey balls for a while. Can you come up with something new?
Yep. And Michael,
just like know that you're never going to be asked to come back to the table.
I would even phrase it like this, and I think you could get away with it. Listen, Greg, we've seen you now talk about your system. We've seen you now play your system in all the away games that we've had, and we've seen you play it here, and you've really emphasized your system the whole way through, which is why we don't have players like Ream and Pifak and Brooks that are in consideration right now because of your system. And so what I'm asking you is, based on the last 2 games, how important is your system to you, or is winning going to be more preeminent in your mind, knowing that your system isn't working like you'd like it right now? Are you willing to change? That's, I think, a legit question. It's long. It's fucking blowhard. It's pontificating, but it's a question that you could ask and maybe get away with. They're not going to like that question. I guarantee you that much. Oh, by the way, I want to throw out an invite to Michael Cameron. Michael, if you're okay with the fact that we called you the original turd, the turd in the background, and all those other things that we joked around and said, we've said a lot of things. Yeah, we're kidding around, but we're serious too. We're serious about the crap. We are serious about that. But we're willing to have you on the show. So if you want to reach out to us,
So once you sift through all the dick and fart jokes, I mean, there's some seriousness there.
Yeah. We can be serious. We'll be nice to you, but we're not going to throw you softballs. So if you don't want to come in for that, or if you're busy and you need to hang around Matt Turner for the next week because he might do another interview, so you just got to track him like a hound dog that you are and stay within 6 feet of him and in the background of all video footage of him answering the questions. Oh, God. Anyhow, but if you, let us know. We're here. You know how to reach us.
Chris asked twice.
Did Cameron really talk to Pete? Yes, Cameron contacted Pete. Yes.
I think Pete may have reached out to, I don't know, to maybe get him on the show or something like that. No, just he reached out to Pete.
Yes, after we were on Pete's show, and I called him the turd in the background.
Wow, I just assumed that Pete was reaching out to get him.
This is months ago, and I didn't say anything about it at the time because I didn't want to get Pete in trouble because he shared the messages with me. And we had a laugh because he called himself, "Hi, I'm Mike, the turd in the background cameraman." And he said, "I'd be willing to come on your show anytime if you'd be interested." But now that it's been months have passed, I think it's safe to say that happened and no one's going to get in trouble for it. So certainly not Pete, because Pete, I don't think was really even interested in having him on the show because I don't think he was expecting an honest answer to anything he was going to ask. So.
All right, jumping back to the game, what do you think of our midfield? Anybody stand out there?
Acosta was.
I think I may have heard Acosta's name like twice the entire game.
McKennie made a few good runs,
most of which were offside, but at least he was making them forward. He's still not sharp, and I was talking with Derek about this. I think when McKennie goes back to Juve, he needs to just sit down and do some sprints, some long distance running, get some cardio going. Shed like 2 to 5 pounds. I mean, it's not much, but build up the muscle again.
Cut out the Twinkies. Yeah.
And get going because, I mean, the pre-broken foot McKennie is what we want back.
Yeah, but we've been saying this for a while, and I don't think we're going to get it.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't know where that McKennie went. I think he's mostly a kidder and a joker right now. What we need is serious McKennie. Honestly. I want him to be himself, but I need him to get down to brass tacks at this point. We're too close to the World Cup.
And I mentioned the one thing that Acosta brings outside of his free kicks is his attitude in the midfield. When he actually has one of those games where he like stands out, but he's also like very in the opponent's face. He's doing a lot of shithousery and stuff like that. We lack somebody in the midfield that has that type of personality. That type of personality. I'm going to go into a crunching tackle with you. I'm going to get in your face about it and just move on.
You're right, but it ain't going to be him.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that this is the problem we're experiencing is that, I mean, I just feel like, with Adams is too nice. McKennie is too nice.
Adams can
Musa could be.
Adams could be a little bit more. He can be a little more bitchy. The problem with Adams is he doesn't have the physical presence to actually be, a physical, threat to anybody. He's a small guy. So Chris, he's not Jones. He's not Jermaine Jones. He's not Clint Dempsey. We don't have any of those kind of guys on this team. You're right. We don't.
Chris, it'll be interesting if Legger does drop Weston because as I found out today, Di Maria. Who else was it, Derek?
Di Maria,
Rabiot and Quadrado.
Yes,
Quadrado. All three of those players are not going to get re-signed because Juve is financially
in a
tight.
Bind. Yes, in a bind.
And they cannot afford that. So McKennie is not going anywhere, and Allegri is going to have to figure out how to use him properly to do well.
I'm not sure how well Rabiot ever fit in anyhow on a game-to-game basis.
Yeah, God, that was such hit and miss there.
Yeah. All right. More questions? I mean, we could talk about the rest of the game, but I mean, you guys saw it. If you didn't see it, I wouldn't. You could watch it to educate yourself on what inching forward looks like. And at this point, heading into the World Cup, we don't need to be inching forward. Mm-hmm. We really need to know that even if we're missing 4 guys, that we're still have some depth and we're still going to do good.
Well,
it's not like playing Pulisic and Raina on the wings is like a real downer from like way up being one of the starters. It's just a different type of game because Raina's not going to stretch you vertically. He's going to cut in. And so is Pulisic, and that's become so fucking goddamn predictable with those two. And then there's no Jedi, right? And then you're playing Dest on the left, and that's not his ball of wax either. So
speaking of Pulisic, Juve is still going after him apparently.
Yeah, if they sell Rabiot and the 2 other guys you mentioned, they'll have plenty of money because Rabiot will be scooped up by somebody, Arsenal, or somebody will scoop him up, Man City.
Yeah.
Somebody
decent
PSG
or whatever. Yeah,
they'll make 30 million off of that alone. So,
so it was funny you brought up Dest on the left. Man, Dest was just a shadow of his former self out on the left.
He always is.
He's there. He's a body there. He doesn't go up into the attack. He doesn't press. He doesn't do anything special over there. He's just a body on the left.
There was one moment.
And it's sad that we're I know the moment you're gonna bring up too.
Yes.
It's just sad that we're relying on him to be the backup for Jedi at this point.
And then Scally came in and played fairly well.
Yes.
He was very
good. On the
right. Yes. On the right. He was fairly good. But Dest on the left is just a waste of time, except for that one moment where he, McKennie, and Pulisic did their thing. And it looked like a real good opportunity was going to come from it. But like all things, currently with our players and our system, we just don't know how to score.
Yeah.
We don't know.
It hurt. I mean, it hurts our chances when you look at losing out on a player like Jedi or Musa or both in this situation, and you're looking at a completely different setup. Not a setup. Let me rephrase that. Production level, I guess, because it's still the same system, but once you like drop Musa or you drop Jedi or both, all of a sudden we're just not the same team at all.
I would say Musa. I'd say Musa is the most important player to this team right now because he's the only one that can transition the ball out of the back to the front, like through past the midfield and into offense. I mean, Luca De La Torre showed that, but he certainly didn't in the first game versus Japan because how could he? He was outnumbered 4-3 in the midfield for all the game he was in. And so, Musa's he's key because he can dribble by guys. He can dribble past them. He can dribble around them. And we don't have anybody else. McKennie's not dribbling by 2 guys. All right. That's not happening. Adams is not dribbling past 2 guys. Only Musa has proven time and time again he can get out of tight situations and go past out of the final third into the fucking midfield.
It's his change in speed because it's from him receiving the ball with his back, turning on his man, and all of a sudden he's like 20 yards past.
Yes.
Out of nowhere. It's just that quick turn, poof, gone. Like 0 to 60 in like 0.1 second. It's like poof. And that's what opens it up. And you don't see that with McKinney. You don't see that with Adams. And you can see that with Luca De La Torre, but maybe not this window or anything like that. Eldon does say that was too harsh on Dest. I don't think it was anything harsh. We didn't say anything harsh about Dest. I was saying he's a shadow of himself on the left, meaning that he's not as dangerous.
No, he's better on the right.
He's much better on the right where he's confident. On the left, he is literally just acting as a serviceable body, defending and taking up space and trying to make passes forward.
He wasn't bad on
defense. Bad.
No, today he wasn't bad. I mean, a lot of the play did not go through him, however. And
again, because he didn't really press forward.
I mean, Yedlin pressed forward quite a bit more than he did a lot of the game, and we were just wondering what's going on there. And it's just the fact that we went down the right side of the field, and Dest lingered far deep left, but up enough, but no one ever did that dagger of a switching field ball to get him the ball. And I just don't think that's something our center backs can do. They can't do that, so they don't do that. And nor do Yedlin can't make a switch like that from his side to Dest's side. That's not a pass he's comfortable with. So who's comfortable with that pass? Well, nobody in our back four. Now, is Brooks comfortable with that pass? Absolutely he is. So is Ream. Both of them could make that kind of cross-field pass and put it on a dime. But they don't play for us, and Greg's made it pretty clear why. Because it doesn't fit into his system.
The system?
God, I want to punch him in his face when he talks about a system. I just want to fucking punch him straight in the fucking face. His stupid fucking face. His little dickhead fucking, you could see it anyhow.
So
just irritating.
As a whole, guys, this window is something to forget about. We got the World Cup coming up, and unfortunately, we don't have any more games to really get our groove back. So let's all hope that these players go back to their clubs and start performing lights out there.
Won't matter.
Leading into the World Cup. It won't matter because Burhalter's still who they're gonna have to answer to in the end.
What you gotta really hope for before the World Cup is a total Greg Burhalter transformation. Greg looks into the mirror and says, it's not just these kids that are to blame. I'm to blame. I'm doing something wrong. I am suppressing their creativity. I am suppressing the young players are creative. Let them do it. Rely on your back four to be the old crunchy old dudes who do what's necessary to keep the other team from scoring. And maybe give that assignment to Adams too. But everybody else, unless you're going to play a double pivot, which you're not.
I still think that Adams is getting too far into the attack for the most part. And he gets out of position.
They're supposed to rotate when that happens, but
of the three, I still don't want him going up there.
Go back to seeing Greg like we used to. Greg
Elton does say, Elton goes on to say, Dest and Scally are better on the right, but I'd take either one of them over Vines and Bello as backup left back. Yes.
Yeah. Bello's a goner.
It's a shame for Vines though, because I still think that he should get more looks. We don't have more looks to give, though, is a problem. He didn't have a great game against Japan by any means. A better second half than the first half, but
talking about a player that doesn't fit into Greg's system. Sam Vines does not even remotely. So I think for that very reason alone, Vines is probably pretty fucked right now. Looked like
no. This window's done. Basically, it's the big question when it comes to the backs now is, did Scally make a big enough case for him to get included over Moore?
Moore's not even on the ship.
Well, I mean, if we're assuming we're going with 5 backs, because
you mean Cannon?
No, assuming we're going with 5 backs, because you got Jedi on the left, Desk, Yedlin, Cannon.
No, I don't know about Cannon. I think Cannon might have played himself off the team last game against Japan. That second half was not good.
I don't know. Greg, I still think Greg's going to Greg on that front.
How come Eric Palmer Brown never got? Why did we get to see McKenzie twice and not any Eric Palmer Brown, who plays in a better league and a better team than McKenzie? I don't understand it. If somebody could,
it wasn't integrated to our system early enough.
Somebody could send me a little.
All right, here you go.
Well, then
he might have been hurt.
Why did he call him up? Why did he call him up if he's hurt? I don't get it.
Well, maybe he got hurt during practice.
Oh, just like all the other center backs? You mean Richards, CCV, and EPB all got injured warming up for Greg's games? The fuck are they doing in practice? They throwing hand grenades at these guys while they practice? The fuck is going on that 3 center backs are injured in 2-game friendly stretch? What is going on? What are you, Dortmund all of a sudden? Christ.
maybe our new medical staff came from Dortmund.
Could be.
Like good news, Greg. We got Dortmund's medical staff now. Awesome. They must know what they're doing.
Hi, Greg. My name is Eric von Wuschdorf. I'm here to take over for the rest of your team. Make sure your team is as healthy as Dortmund was last season. Oh, shit. All right. What's this with Eric?
I don't know. Jose tagged us on this, and it's only 20 some or 30 seconds. So I figured we'd give it a listen. Trust Jose to hook us up some good content.
It looks like Eric's praying to Jesus.
It's Eric Ronaldo on National Team Managers.
All right.
any manager at the international level, your job is not to teach at all. You do not teach anything. That is not your job. Your job is to select the players who are going to make us win. And then you have to look at them. You have to evaluate them. And you have to see, what is their skill set? How is this puzzle going to look when it hits the field? And sometimes it's not what you want. It's what the team and the talent of your players dictates.
Amen.
Eric, that's pretty toxic of you to say that.
But fucking true, dude. I mean, listen, I already said this.
That was a great fucking.
I said the same thing, exact same thing in a different way about half an hour ago. And it's just true. Chris Gary, $4.99. Mwah, kisses, Greg. Well, you know we love Chris Gary. I've done a shot every time you said system. Now I'm on my way to the hospital. Damn it. That's another shot. Yeah, sorry about that, Chris. I didn't know. We might have to do a show where everybody has to drink every time the word system is said. Unless you're in recovery or you're not a non-drinker, don't worry about that.
Drink milk or water or tea then, okay?
Or smoke weed. Take a hit every time. Then you'll be really stoned.
I think that's a great drinking game.
Yeah.
Every presser, like 8 minutes and you're fucking wasted. I think it's awesome.
Wasted.
Yeah, I think Winalda hit the nail on the head with that. And it's something that we've all, not just content creators by any means, but everybody else in the chat, everybody on the Twitter in our community has been saying, be loosey-goosey when it comes to the national team. You have an idea, put the players on the field and let them do their shit.
Yes, the players are going to learn to become better players with their club, Greg. And by the way, you do not manage a club. You manage a national team, you fucking idiot. All right. Are we about done? I think we're an hour and 40 minutes in here. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's pull the questions up and then we'll be done.
Yeah, you say that, and it's going to be like 8 questions.
Oh, sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely going to be about 8 questions.
Oh, come on, man. It's late and I'm old. I've been working.
We're only an hour and 42 minminutes into it, Derek. Calm down.
Well, I know. That's nothing. If Meg's on the show, I'll do an hour and 42, hour 52 hours. I'll do whatever it takes to keep, Meg interested in the show.
Here's Chris Gary with his favorite Burhalterisms. Hopefully only 3 more months of these.
Balance, system, verticality, highline, dominated, African dogs. What the hell was that one? Burhalterisms, sicko mode, coffee mugs, bounce pass, Burhalter ball. Yeah, all things that are really ridiculous. Greg Clownhalter. Wow, this window was a disaster. I thought Burhalter's almighty system was supposed to save us. A disastrous window. Where do we go from here? If we play this way in Qatar, we won't get out of the group. Could have used PFOC today. I'm seriously at a loss, guys. You know, the other thing about this whole thing with Greg and him talking about a system constantly and how important it is and how that's the all and be all is that when we lose now, it's even more his fault than it's ever been before.
No, it's because we played poorly, Derek. It's not his fault.
He can't get away with that anymore. He cannot. He has mentioned the word system so many times, and the players have too, that now it's just all about the system. So if we fail, it's about the system and Greg. Because Greg's made his system all about him, and that's what we're dealing with. So Greg's done this to himself. You don't ever have heard the word system come out of Bruce Arena or Bob Bradley's mouth in their fucking life. Ever.
Yeah.
Mr. Pitt Steelers for life. $9.99. We appreciate it,
Appreciate that, man. Yeah.
Haven't caught a live in a while. Love the show. Dudes. Thank you very much. Peace.
Appreciate
it. I hope that you guys are going to find a quarterback for your Steelers. The one you got now looks a little rough. All right. And that's it. Are we done? Yeah.
Nice one.
Thanks, Clownhalter. All right. Do you think we will ever get to the point where in a friendly matches, a team will be allowed to substitute a red carded player? No. What? To strike a balance between disciplining a player but still maintaining the integrity of a friendly game. I don't think we'll get there. I don't think so.
You never know, man. We're bounced up to 5 subs. I mean, it's like, hey, got a red card. It's a friendly. Go ahead and bring another player.
Okay, you just broke the opposing team's legs, player. We're going to give that guy a red card, but we're going to let
he's out of here. But bring your sub in.
We're going to allow you to bring another clown in who can break another leg. No, I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. TW219. Hey, man, update that to 2022. And you're right. It's Tiger Woods. Tiger says, I didn't see free-flowing soccer at all. You've never seen free-flowing soccer from Greg, actually.
Remember, Derek, Greg is out to make sure we change how the world views American soccer.
As not free-flowing.
It's not free-flowing.
Stagnant. What's that when you can't poop? That too. Constipated. Greg should fit the system around players, not players around the system. Yeah, and Winalda,
yeah.
And so did I. I said the same thing 30 minutes ago. One thing I am hopeful about is when the big stage lights are on, I think these guys will show up. They're going to show up, but if they have to play within the very confined space that is Greg Burhalter's system, then they're going to have a hard time feeling free and loose to play.
Derek, it sounded like you were in Greg Burhalter's rectum trying to say his name there.
I don't know. Maybe we will replace the word system with rectum from here on out. When they're playing in
my rectum.
The problem with Greg's rectum is that it's very constipating to our players. The problem with Greg's rectum is that it's very predictable.
It works. I like it.
Doesn't work very well. And we're talking a guy squeezing out pellets at this point. You got a big long turd, but you can only get the pellet out and it goes boop, doop. And then you got to wait another fucking half an hour and try again later because that's all you can squeeze, without giving yourself a hernia. Greg's system has too many dingleberries. Bentley, I honestly have no hope for the World Cup anymore. I don't either. The last 4 years feel like a complete waste of rectums.
2.5.
Staff is horrible, and the players look over it. It's deflating. Yeah, the players look like they're really just over it at this point. I can't believe
they all sound like robots in the
interviews. Yep,
they look like robots on the field, and that's what the system's done to them.
And that's what Michael Cameron also is doing to them by hovering over their shoulders wherever they go when they talk to the press. It's really vomit worthy. It's vomit worthy.
Can you stick to the script, Turner?
These are grown men. These are fucking grown men. Grown fucking men. Leave them alone. Let them do an interview. Jesus Christ. Without you hovering in the background getting some TV time. And then you guys U.S. Soccer doesn't even bother to post the interviews on their website. So Jake's got to do it. Jake's posting them. That's just unbelievable to me. Good job, Jake, by the way. Mark,
we've always said that their social media presence is absolute garbage. Not just social media, but just media in general.
Hey,
garbage.
Quit the dogma. Quit the propaganda. U.S. Soccer. Dude, how about be real for a fucking second?
So
let's try it.
The presser came out and basically he said, Acosta's going to be playing and Yedlin's going to be playing. Those are the two that he announced during the presser. The next day, I guess, would have been, I think it was yesterday, maybe. USSF or US men's soccer Twitter posted a video of showcasing Acosta and Yedlin
in the interview.
And you would never get it. The video showcased Acosta, passing and then shooting on goal and scoring. Then it showed went over to Yedlin, and Yedlin was talking with Burhalter for about 5 seconds. And then it went back to Acosta, who shot, but they didn't show it going in because by his facial expression, he probably missed.
So here's what happens on that.
That's all.
What happens is Greg gives Michael the list of likely starters, and then Michael says, go see U.S. Soccer's some team, and they decide what they're going to put together to propagandize their picks that Greg's going to make.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dumb, guys. We are so much smarter than U.S. Soccer. You don't even realize how stupid you look to us. You don't even fucking realize how fucking clownish you guys come off to people who know the sport and have been following it for 20 years or even 10 years or in some cases 2 months. That's how ridiculous you look because you're not real people. You are real people, but you're fake as fuck. And that's got to stop.
It was funny because I made the joke that here's what I think happens. The videographer goes out, records players, edits the video, and says, "Hey, Greg, I've got a video coming out that's got Acosta and Yedlin, so you're going to have to play him in one of your games."
No.
And Greg's like, "Okay.
No.
I think that fits my system."
I mean, that would be funny if that were the case because I think we get better results if that were the case.
Hysterical, yeah.
And we get better results. Ahmed Baokba. Ahmed Baokba. I think I got that right. Let me know, Ahmed. Baokba. California dollars, 13 of them.
I think it's
13, Canadian, $13.99. Thank you very much, sir.
Appreciate that, man.
Super sticker. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was kind of surprised the super sticker didn't show up. Usually it's like a dancing unicorn or whatever. But it didn't show up. Maybe it's on the actual YouTube chat, and I don't have it pulled up. So maybe you'll see it when you rewatch this later, Derek.
I don't know what the fuck that is. It's a super sticker.
Yeah. When you look at the chat when you're replaying this later, look at the chat when this super sticker pops up. Look over there, and you should hopefully see something animated, like a little dance. I don't know.
A super sticker dance?
No, it's just the super sticker is just an animated GIF, like a little unicorn dancing or whatever.
Why didn't we just say that at the beginning? Animated GIF. I would have got that. I don't know what a super. I
literally said that.
I know
like
you
twice.
You just did twice. I missed the first.
I did it
time.
Twice.
All right. I often miss things first time. All right.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate the 14 Canadian. I'm assuming. It's Canadian
we
again.
appreciate it. Yeah, long night,
appreciate
guys.
You like our streams. We do this for you guys. We do it for us too, I guess. We enjoy venting and ranting. Words are tough for me now. Where am I at?
You enjoy renting.
I do enjoy renting.
But I'm sorry, you own your house, motherfucker, so you can't even get away with that. All right.
No, we haven't done Markov yet. I don't think we've done
Markov. I don't know if y'all remember, but this time summer they hired this so-called set piece specialist to help with the set pieces. I honestly didn't see any improvement with our set pieces this window. Thoughts?
Ever. Set pieces ever.
No, we're bad at it. It's just
horrible.
I can't remember the last time we scored it all on a set piece. I think it might have been.
I do. It was Acosta.
Was it Acosta?
Yeah, I was pretty sure it was the Snow Bowl game. Didn't he score like 2 goals and an assist on that game?
Maybe, yeah. Well, yeah, we're not good at them. It's like we're not good at a lot of things right now, and that's a problem. We're not good at scoring on set pieces, free kicks, penalty kicks. We don't get a lot of those. We're not good at getting penalty kicks, and I think Pulisic should have had one today. Honestly, we're just not. We're just too predictable, folks. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you play any opponent and you already know what he's going to do, you've won half the battle already. You really have.
Here's the super stickers, what it was. It was a person hugging a baby person.
Okay.
And Jose says, looks like cock and balls. It's a person with a heart popping out, jumping up and down.
That could be cock and ball.
You'll see it later. Yeah.
Okay. You like my cock and balls? Oh, you want
right.
more cock and balls? All right. So what are your positive takeaways? I just went straight from the bottom, but I'll read the whole thing. Fingering my twat. That's a good one. I like that. I mean, I do have a friend named Finn, and that girl.
The funny thing is, I read that as Finn Goring.
Well, the Goring could be, that's a German name. And Maitvat, if you pronounce it in German, that could be a name. But if you're American and you're reading this German's name, you're like, Finn Goring my twat. Yes, fingering my twat. Think Pete falls for my name? I think it's too silly.
Mitch, I don't think he's going to pronounce it properly.
I think he might fall for it. But
no, he'll fall for it. He'll read it aloud. I just don't think it's going to land.
And Tack might be watching and give him a warning. So I don't know if Pete watches our show as often as Tack.
Well, I mean,
does,
shit,
so.
we're almost 2 hours into this show, so.
Well, I guess it'd be like it's like 7:25 p.m. where Pete lives, so he could watch it, but he's busy. So making those weird
what's Finn got to say here?
Reads. I hope you had as much fun as I did watching that game. I don't know how much fun you had. I didn't have a lot, except for hanging out with Brett and listening to his kids do their kid things. And I'm like, my whole thought was, thank God my kids aren't 4 and whatever your kids are, 6 and 4, 7 and 4. I'm like, I remember that era, and I am so glad that's over. I mean, we had a good time. I'm just glad it's over. In other news, club soccer is back this weekend. Finally, some good soccer. I can't wait to watch Leeds. Me too, man. I've been bummed out about how long it's been since they played. Marsh seems to get a lot out of Adams, and why can't Greg assist him? Because Greg does not really play a true double pivot. He plays a single pivot with a helper on occasion. So what are your positive takeaways of this game? None. I don't have any. Do you have any? I like the fact they tried a few long balls, but that's about it.
I think this was a much better performance by Scally. I mean, Turner did Turner. I mean, Turner's going to Turner.
Haven't we taken quite a few comments from the YouTube chat instead of the Twitter?
I don't know if he's well. Okay, I guess Luke or L Duke. Don't know if you're talking about the current chat that's going on, like how I'm pulling you up right now, or if you're referring to our comment section chat. I guess he says chat, so yeah. I bring him to chat all the time.
I mean, we're not going to pick up everybody. I mean, when there's 600 something out comments, it's kind of hard. I mean, I can't even see them, which is for the better, because they would distract me and I'd be cursing at certain people or whatever.
Probably be talking like this.
Yeah, while I read it. Yes. You're like, wait, what did that dumb fucker say? Oh, I like what that fucker said. Post that fucker. No, I just let Brett handle that. So if you have a problem with whether or not Brett picked your chat, that's on Brett. I'm throwing Brett under the bus.
Well, that's right. I get called out there. The turd always likes to point out that I never pull up his chat.
Who?
And then I do it on purpose. So.
Oh, okay. Jose says, skip the booze the past 2 days. Went straight to the hard stuff, boys. Nothing starts off my day better than a freshly brewed cup of bleach. I hope that's what you really look like, Jose. That'd be awesome. Greg, stop trying to make your system happen. Yeah. Enough said there. Greg talking too long. You're my number one guy. Yeah, no such thing on his team. I mean, he has guys that, rub him the right way, but he doesn't have a captain.
I am better than USMNT social media. Absolutely.
That doesn't take much. I don't know if we learned anything new. It's the same performance we've been seeing throughout GG's tenure, especially when it's not played. The game's not played in USA.
Yep.
In the United States of America.
I don't know what it is about being away under Greg's tenure that the team just plays garbage.
Yeah, I don't.
Why he doesn't change much of anything except for maybe player personnel in that sense, but why does it make that big of a difference?
I mean, you could psychologically say that when the players feel like they're playing an away game, that they're such tender victuals that they don't feel enough support to play outright. I don't know.
I can take that as an excuse when we're playing away in CONCACAF when we're surrounded, 20, 30,000 people all screaming at you. Then playing in Germany and Spain in front of hundreds of people, probably at least half of them being U.S. men's national team fans.
Yeah.
I don't know. This window is garbage, more garbage than most of our away matches in CONCACAF. And it's not just due to the opposition. It's due to how we performed in general.
Yeah, it's how we set up and how we tactically decided to, endure the opposition. Part of me honestly thinks, says Tiger Woods, 2019. Part of me honestly thinks these guys are going through the motions. The atmosphere in Germany and Spain sucked. I've seen more people at a U10 rec game. A big problem I do see is Greg fitting his players into his system and not fitting his system around the players.
Yep.
I think all day you could play a 4-2-2-1-1, or you could play a 4-2-3-1. There are all kinds of ways you could get the best players on the field. Greg just not going to do it. So, Clayton Paul, what did we learn? Not a damn thing. We learned that he's not. Greg's system still sucks. What are we missing? A manager. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Bring on my booze. What the hell?
Yeah.
Well, I can't give you my booze through the tubes, so they don't have that system yet.
All right, guys, we got a couple more questions to answer here, and then after the show, Tact is live currently going over the U20 match. So if you guys want some more YouTube conversations, jump over there.
Yep.
After we're done here, though, don't leave yet.
Yeah. Chris Gary says, I have no confidence in this team anymore. I thought we turned a new corner, but we're not in a good place. 3 and out in Qatar. We'll be lucky to draw one of these teams. Yeah. I mean, right now, I'm not real confident. I
think Max Bretto said if we tie all 3 teams in our group, we're likely to move on in the World Cup, which I don't think that's accurate.
And that hasn't happened since I think Austria did it, when you got a point for tying and 2 points for winning. Well, now they changed the rules, and it's been this way for a long time. You get 3 points for a win and 1 point for a tie, and 3 points generally does not get you through a group. Sorry, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Jose says he jumped into tag stream, and the chat is quite different. Alex says, how's it different? Jose says, less asshole talk.
I mean, all right. Well, there was one thing that was positive about today. Only one. Go to Pete's after stream with Tact and go. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah. It happened again. And that's gold.
That's gold, Jerry.
All right. Are we done?
Down to the last few.
Maybe GG is a genius playing 4D chess. He's making us look like shit to trap our opponents and to think it's a drop. We aren't any good. Then we can surprise them at the World Cup. No one's going to believe that, Jonathan.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Because everyone in Europe is familiar with Pulisic, Adams, McKennie. I would say Brooks, but he ain't coming. Everyone's familiar with Jedi in the Premier League. Everyone's familiar with Dest. Everyone's familiar. I guess they're kind of familiar with Aronson at this point. He's been at Leeds a short time, but he's made a mark. So I think people are generally familiar with our best players. So nobody's thinking we suck. U.S. men's national team Twitter. U.S. men's national team Twitter is delusional. Aaron Long was perfectly fine in both games. Now let me read this how it should be read. I'm sorry. U.S. men's national team Twitter is delusional. Aaron Long was perfectly fine in both games. Yedlin and Acosta played great, and so did my areolas. Given Greg's calls-ups, a Zim-Long pairing is the best thing we have. Suck shit out of the balls of Christ and about Gio. Damn shame. Suck shits out of the balls of Christ? That's gross on so many levels, dude. I mean, first of all, I didn't know Christ's balls were full of shit, but there you go. Also, Tyler,
if I was Christ, I'd be pissed off at my dad, you know? Dude, what the fuck, man?
How am I supposed to procreate with shit in my nutsack? Also, Tyler Adams is awful. He sucks massive amounts of cock. Really? I didn't peg him for that.
You didn't peg him for that,
huh? He should be dropped along with Weston. Call up Corona and Legit. Come on with the Corona. Are you serious? And Legit. Legit and Corona should get a room with you, Fred. Both Miles better. Miles Robinson better? All right. Fingering my twat is back. He said, hi, Fred. On the sauce again, I see. It's true. I think that dude is on the sauce. Or he's a very fake ass person. Jesse Negron. Did you guys talk about Raina's injury? Is he in? Is he in who?
Is he okay? Is what he goes. Is he okay?
Oh, okay. I mean, is he in? I can't tell you about. I don't know who he's fucking. No fucking clue. And if she's asking, that's not a good question. Are you in yet? What the fuck you mean? I'm definitely in. Oh, okay, good. That either means she's too wide or you're too small. I don't know what to think about Raina's injury yet. I just hope it's not serious because we need him. He's the only guy. I mean, I would say we would really need him if we played a 3-2, a 4-2-3-1. I'd be like, yeah, he's absolutely important to this team. But, you know, since we play him out wide, he's not quite as important as he could be, but he's still important. I mean, Greg's done his best to play him so out of position that it doesn't really, in his system, that he seems really constipated. And you know, I don't even know if Greg really likes some of the runs Raina makes. I don't know. I hope he does. I think he would basically suck Raina's teeth like he sucks Pulisic's teeth. But I think
every time he got a hold of the ball and was able to do something, it was the most creative aspect of the game.
I agree. Last two games.
Both games, yeah.
Yeah. He's the only one who really, you know, pulled out his schlong and said, I'm going to fucking town on this shit. You know, he had no fear of whipping it out and going for it. Whereas everybody else was kind of like, you know, tightly packed in their fucking jocks. And I think occasionally you need a player who's like willing to let it rip, let it roll, let it go, roll the dice. And I hope that that's what Burhalter's encouraging him to do. I mean, not in a literal, that's a metaphor, guys. Yeah. I don't want Raina to whip out his cock on the field and run around. Derek is happy this is over. I really am. I usually wouldn't be, but guys, it's been a long weekend, and we're well over 2 hours, 6 minutes over.
Hit it, guys.
So hit it. Yes, do. If you have said person you're close to that wants to be
like,
you know,
hey, honey, the straight red card lasted for 2 hours. I think I can too.
Yeah, because they probably drank too much. But you know, anyhow,
is it supposed to be this soft?
Wait a minute, honey. Just play with it more. It'll get back to normal. Just fiddle with it a little, baby. Come on. All right. So there's this guy I talked to at the conference, and he's a former podcaster of the NHL, and now he's working on recovery things because he had an addiction issue. But he runs this whole organization now, and I'm not going to name his name, but he lost his job as a TV. He called NHL games, and he also had a podcast about the NHL. And I was telling him about our podcast, and I said, yeah, we got a show. It's called The Straight Red Card. You can find it on YouTube, because he was telling me he was thinking about getting back into it. He's like, oh, I love soccer. He's loved it. So I'll probably check out your show. And I said, can you keep it to yourself, though? Don't tell anybody that you know anyone in these halls that I do a soccer show where I swear incessantly and talk about cock and balls. And so he's like, not an issue. And he said, I'll love that show. He said, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear all kinds of weird shit going on and swear words. And I said, okay. Hey, Juan Salazar said, Derek, you look beautiful today. That's because this is a brand new camera. I mean, not a new camera. It's my excellent laptop. So I'm clearer and I come through clearer, which I mean is good for some, but not good for all. I can tell you, I'd rather be 26 again, but I'll live with 51. Jose Lopez, Derek looks like the guy that sells you mushrooms he grows in his backyard with his own compost. I'm a horrible grower of gardens, so no, that would not be me. I usually would just buy the mushrooms off the guy next door that was good at it. Bandit, Brett, where did your eyebrows go?
It's the curse of having blonde hair.
Yeah,
they're not as defined.
You might want to get a little, what is that shit the women use on their eyelashes? You look like you have just a giant forehead.
I lost a bet, guys. Seriously, I'll lay it out. Okay. I thought the U.S. was going to beat Saudi Arabia.
Oh, Jesus.
That's one thing I would not shave off because eyebrows take so long to grow back.
Yeah, they do. And yeah, you look really dumb without them. So, all right. So I think that's it for now, folks. I mean, we went 2 hours and 9 minutes. I think any girlfriend would be satisfied with that. Usually they might even say that's too long, get it over with, please. But that was later in my years. All right, until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure you like, subscribe, share it with your grandmother, and do whatever you can do to get the word out. Like if you have other soccer fans, you're like, have you seen the show? And they're not like total dipshits and they have a sense of humor. Share the show with them. Say, you got to watch the show. Check it out. Give them some of the inside jokes so they'll have a head start. Like there's some jokes you should know going into this that they're going to tell. So you just have a general idea that that's sort of an ongoing conversation. And we'll all be fine together. But we will continue to talk about all things in the world. But we'll also continue to talk about soccer too. All right. Until the next time, we'll see you soon.
You're gonna do her. Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?